in for the on assignment Tony Messenger from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. David Stokes, you have a thing or two you want to mention about Chesterfield threatening to leave St. Louis County and go to St. Charles. What are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. This is, first of all, it's crazy, and it's certainly, you get a little discretion for just being mad about something and spouting off. So, but let's take it seriously. Let's take this idea seriously, and certainly why they want to do it, because they say they don't get enough money from the sales tax pool because of all the economic development they're doing in Chesterfield. And all that economic development is allowing people to build shopping malls. So it's not like they have these great ideas on how to run government there. I want to be very clear. Chesterfield was perfectly happy when they did their TIF in the Valley to redirect taxes from other governments to Chesterfield when they took TIF money from the school district, the county, the fire district to benefit the city of Chesterfield at that point in that development. So now when they're screaming that the sales tax pool isn't allowing them to get all of the general sales tax dollars from their shopping centers, I don't buy it at all. And when they're talking like they're just broke, they get no money out of these new developments, which is crazy. They get business licenses, they get their other sales taxes like their parks tax, they get to keep all of that. They get utility taxes, they get property taxes. Chesterfield has chosen to have very low, basically non-existent property taxes because they apparently want to fund city government by shoppers from other cities paying for everything there. Well, you know what? Do what most cities do and have a small property tax to fund your government. So there's no legitimate argument, in my opinion, for what the mayor of Chesterfield is complaining here. The pool is excellent for reducing tax incentives and doing some small way to fight back against companies or retail stores moving from city A to city B. The pool is great. It should be expanded, actually, not contracted.
I think the story here is that David Stokes wants Chesterfield to raise their property taxes.
I want Chesterfield
right.
to raise their property taxes as opposed to expecting that shoppers in the rest of St. Louis County and St. Charles need to be funding local government in the city.
Or subsidizing Webster because they refuse to put any development in their city.
Yeah,
this goes both ways. I mean, this is, if you don't like sales taxes, then get rid of the sales tax. And if you don't think that's the way that should fund government. But, the idea that Webster refuses to put in any retail, or Bambi's Playground and other municipalities don't want to put any development and they want to live in Bambi's Playground, that's their choice. So Chesterfield has decided that they want to do sales. Now, whether that's an overall policy, I don't know, but the county incentivizes it by imposing the 1 cent sales tax. So if you don't want people chasing sales tax in the county, then don't have that as your tax. So, now, do I think he should succeed? I mean, that's nonsense. That's crazy. It's not possible. It's ridiculous, whatever. But there is a level of frustration. That formula hasn't been redone in 25 years. I think a lot of people agree that it either needs to be tweaked or, maybe the answer is if you want to get rid of, and I'm not a fan of retail TIF, okay? Everybody, a lot of people have issues with that. Well, then get rid of retail TIF and stop the municipalities from chasing each other. But when you enact a sales tax and you put together this pool, you're only incentivizing these municipalities to cannibalize each other. So there's no leadership from the county.
It's the lack of the pool that incentivizes the cannibalization. It's the cities that are not in the pool use TIF more, use these incentives more.
Because they're chasing that dollar.
Right. The pool
Whereas Webster's decided
that.
they're going to whack people with property taxes.
Right, but
people are paying for services.
David Stokes is saying if you're part of the pool, Wildwood gets some of the benefit from Chesterfield Valley, which incentivizes Wildwood not to put in another Walmart. So you're not going to steal the Walmart shoppers.
If TIF is what you want to go after, then ban TIF for retail if you don't want this. But if these people want to live on sales tax because they choose that's how they want to fund their government, I mean, I thought you guys were all about local control. If these guys want to fund their government through sales taxes, but you don't like TIF, then get rid of TIF. But don't do this pool game in order to, or you're going to say it all and say, okay, then everybody lives in the pool and that's the end of it. But somebody needs to exercise leadership in the county, and they're not doing it. So these municipalities are going to continue to cannibalize.
John Deal.
Well, first, it's easy. If Chesterfield wants to go to St. Charles, all the other taxpayers who paid for the levy can just move it up to like 141, and
right.
It would probably effectuate that effectively. But that being said, there is a problem with the pool system in that it also upholds and props up a bunch of cities who are not well run, that really have no business being a city. We have 93 municipalities. or 92 now. I think one did go away. Or
Yeah, but
91,
it's
but I think they may have added one. You know, it kind of
ridiculous.
fluctuates in the
Too
low
many.
90s, and so
We all
you
agree
do
on
have
that.
a lot of cities here that their sole existence, that they're not well run. They really can't maintain a police force, and they can't do any of this stuff but for pool money they get. Another issue I think we have in this county that's a real problem, and this problem's never going to get solved until you get the county out of the municipal services business, and that's another issue too that's caused with problem. I think Chesterfield's argument has some merit, and we're trying to work toward a middle ground on that to take into account, the pool system that's in place and try to balance that with the cities who grow. In Chesterfield, there's a lot of malls, but there's also other stuff that's going on there too.
But
There's a lot of office and business.
They're not all right and they're not all wrong.
Right.
But David's point is, hey, they used all the other money to build up this giant
Just like all the
retail
cities
world.
now are using all the Chesterfield money to build up their stuff now.
And that's
I mean,
why-
that's the way
and
it
that-
works.
all Chesterfield money. It's a
No.
big pool. It's a pool
Right.
that existed before Chesterfield
they-
came.
But
into
that's
they-
why you can't go
they
all
knew-
point of
they knew the
sale.
rules.
Right.
Because, I mean, part of the reason
You can't go
Chesterfield
point of sale.
has all the sales is that they're not because they're necessarily,
Surviving on
economic
their own.
development geniuses. It's because they sit on an interstate.
Right.
A lot of
Which
it
they
is.
don't pay for.
Which they don't pay for.
Correct.
I agree. And, Clarkson Road is
You're
the other
sounding awfully
cross-section.
communist, Stokes.
Which,
I'm sort of
which
digging
they
this.
don't pay
Welcome
for.
to my world, baby.
And a levy, which was paid for by taxpayers
Everybody.
all over the
Yep.
place.
Right.
All good things. I'm not arguing against any of that. But so I think, and I think to Chesterfield's credit, this year I think they've recognized that it shouldn't be all pool. And I think the county has come to the table and recognized that maybe there's some adjustments to the pool that need to be done. So I do believe there's middle ground and there's progress
And they don't get to
being
keep
made.
all their money.
But
and I'm
this
not
inflammatory
advocating
language of saying I'm going to move out because
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
get my
silly.
way this year probably isn't productive.
And it decreases your, your credibility to say whatever problem you do have.
John Deal gets a tax cut through, and now he's talking about common ground. Are you sure you're not running for anything in the future?
Tax cuts are common ground.
Ladies and
All
gentlemen,
right.
my goodness, he's on fire.
Freedom.
John Deal, David
That was
Stokes,
fun.
Jane Duker. The board
Tony.
meeting continues on the Big 550 KTRF.